Hi, this is Sandy. Welcome to my Colorful Heart Magnets tutorial, part 1. Hope you enjoy it and look for part 2 later to come. First, you take a wooden heart shape, about a 3-inch size, and some miscellaneous paper. Use gesso and gesso both sides and the edge. And then you take and dry it with a heat gun or let it air dry, whichever. And then you take your paper and you take some Glossy Accents and apply the Glossy Accents right around the edge. And then you're going to put, quite a bit on the inside. And then you're going to use your finger and you're going to smooth it out everywhere. And make sure it goes right up to the edge and that it's totally everywhere smoothed out thinly. Wipe your finger off. And then you're going to put the heart, the glossy side, on the back of your paper. And then you're going to take a brayer or your handy dandy old credit card and run it over it to smooth out any bubbles or wrinkles. And then you're going to dry it. And then when it's totally dry, you're going to take some gesso and you're going to put a little bit of water in it, thin it out. And then you're going to take a paintbrush or a splatter tool and you're going to splatter the top of the paper and dry that. Then once it's dry, you're going to take a small pair of either scissors like this with super sharp pointed blades, the tip is really sharp and pointed that can reach in, or you're going to take a craft knife of some kind that can cut around the edge. And I'm sorry about my throat. I have really bad allergies right now. And once it's cut out, you're going to take a sanding block or folded sandpaper. And I slowed it down so you could see that you're sanding in a downward motion so that you don't catch the edge of the paper and tear it up if you were going the wrong way. So you're going the right way, and all you will do is distress the gesso, which is okay. Excuse me. And you do that all the way around the edge so that there's no rough edges of the paper. Then you're going to take Distress Ink Oxide and apply it with, I'm using a distress brush, but you can use, whatever applicator you have, and cover where the gesso is. And once the gesso is totally covered, you let it dry. And then you're going to come in and you're going to spray some drops. And I'm using a distress sprayer, and you're able to use that to make drops. If you don't have one of those, you can use like an eyedropper or something like that to put big drops of water. And then let it dry. And then you're going to come in with a distress brush or whatever you have to distress with, the ink. And you notice I'm going from the top edge and going down, and that's what gives that distressed look, kind of a cloudy look around the edge of it. And that's how you distress with the inks. And then you dry it. Then you take your Oxide sprays, and I did whatever color you like as a contrasting color. And then you drip some water on the drops that dripped from the spray bottle on it and dry it. And then you put some more drops on there. And you don't have to actually put, water drops onto the ink if you don't want to. You can try to just blot it just the way it is and see if you like that. And on the back, then you flip it over and you do the same on the back. And on the back, I really want that strong color. So on the back, instead of putting water into the ink, I just blot it a little bit and then I dry it. And when it's almost dry, and then I take my handy dandy Oriental Panda restaurant chopsticks and put it on there to dry, or set it on there because it wasn't quite dry yet. And then I cut out the white edge off of some butterfly wings. I don't like that white border that's on them, so I just cut that off and cut the wings, cut the butterfly in half so that I just have the wings that I can use to make my vintage paper doll into a vintage fairy doll. Then I'm going to take those wings and I'm going to use a Stickles glitter glue, and I'm using an iridescent one for the wings. And I do the back of the wings first, and then I set it and let it dry. And I'm using my heat gun here, but you got to be really careful that you don't get too close or you could bubble it. And then I'm doing a few little accents on the paper doll with the iridescent one too. And I'll list all of the stuff that I'm using so you know what it is in the description area. I'm not real sure if that's where I'm supposed to put it because I'm just learning all this stuff now, and not sure quite where I'm supposed to do everything, but that's where I'll put it for now unless somebody lets me know that I'm supposed to do it somewhere else. Now I'm doing the front of the butterfly wings, and I'll let that dry also. And you'll find out here in a second why I do both the front and the back. And now I'm going to dry the glitter on the paper doll and on the wings. Now I'm going to take a regular Distress ink pad and I'm going to put a little on the sponge applicator, and I'm going to fold it because I don't want to get too much ink on the paper doll, and I'm going to kind of go around the edge, and in the area where I can't reach real well, I'll do it from behind so that I don't get it on the front, like where her legs are, and distress the edge a little bit to take away some of that white and to give it like orange shadow around the paper doll and the wings. And then I go around the edge of the heart. And then I take Glossy Accents, and first I put it on the back of the wings, and I smooth it out so it's thin and covers the whole wing. And then I let it dry, or I dry it, I should say. It dries pretty quickly. Then I flip them over and I do the fronts. And now I kind of place the paper doll and her wings, and I kind of look at where I want to maybe place them on the heart. And I ended up putting her somewhere else because I liked the green on the other side better to show. So I put glossy accents on the back of the paper doll. Don't worry about that foot there hanging off a little bit, and I'll explain why in a second. Then you take the wings and you only put glossy accents on the back tip that goes underneath and on both sides. And then you put your finger and hold it, and then you're going to lift the edge of the wings up and bend them up while you got your finger on the paper doll. And it lifts the wings so that they're dimensional. Now you're going to clip that little portion of her shoe that stuck out, and then you're going to distress over it. And you won't hardly even notice it because you're going to go over it with glitter in a little bit. Then you find a quote sticker. I picked out one from a Tim Holtz quote book, and I'll list that also. And then you take an ink pad that's just the regular distress one, and you go around the edge of each of the quote stickers just straight, so that you kind of highlight the edges of the sticker. If you happen to get some on the sticker, it's not a big deal because you can run your finger over it and it'll just add color to the sticker and personality. I kind of like it that way. It's not that big of a deal. Don't be afraid if you get it on there, because it just distresses it. And then you take a white paint pen and go around the quotes, and you're wondering why that, and then you put the glitter matching stickles around the edge of the heart. And the reason that I did the white paint pen back there but it doesn't show here is because about almost when I was done, I thought, why does this not look right? And I realized I'd forgotten to do it. So I added it into the video where you should be doing it. I had a blonde moment. Now I'm adding glossy accents onto the fairy doll. And I'm putting glossy accents. I put it over the quotes, and then I put it over on the edge where the glitter is, I put it over that as well. And now I'm taking 3 mini flowers and I'm attaching them with the glossy accents, and I put the glossy accents over the flowers as well, because they have these little beads in the center, and if you don't, they come off real easy. And now I let it dry, and now I'm going to apply the magnet. And I use craft glue in a circle, and then I use hot glue in the middle that will hold the magnet to it until it dries. And I'm careful to press down while holding the edge of the heart. When it's dry, I flip it over and I sign it. You should always sign your work. Be proud of it. Thanks for watching. Hope you hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate it, and look for part 2.